Hi, good evening, Ghana. You are tuned into Time with Irbad Ibrahim. And today has been quite an eventful day. So many Ghanaians thrown to the Accra International Conference Center to watch the premiering of an expose on corruption within the Ghana Football Association. And there have been mixed feelings as to the modus operandi or the strategy that is adopted in naming and shaming people accused of taking bribe. And we will do a thorough analysis of this issue and also speak with the Executive Director of Ghana Integrity Initiative, the Ghanaian chapter of Transparency International. She's in the person of Linda Ofori. And then you would have the opportunity as viewers to join the conversation. You just can't afford to miss this. Stick and stay with us as we go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we kickstart the program. Stick and stay. You're welcome back. Today, I don't know, but people have got various ways of looking at this as to whether it is ethical to entice or entrap people with money, invade their privacy by capturing them on tape while they succumb to your overtures, and then you publicize that without even giving them the opportunity to look at the body of evidence of allegations against them. You would want thousands of people to go and watch such evidence you've put together as though it were a Hollywood blockbuster movie you are premiering. So many questions are being asked, and we would like to take the views of viewers back home as to what they think, number one, of the methodology or the strategy, and whether in the long term it can help in the anti-corruption campaign in the Republic of Ghana. And then we'll speak with Linda Ofori Kwafo, Executive Director of Ghana Integrity Initiative, the local chapter of Transparency International. So what do you think about what has happened in the Ghanaian capital today? Do you think the mantra of naming, shaming, and jailing will serve as a deterrent in the fight against corruption? And this is meant to be quite interactive, and you can actually join the conversation any moment from now when our phone number pops up on your screens. But we would first speak to an authority on such issues, Executive Director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative. But what is your, view on the total outlook of what happened today? I have released a statement, and as host of this program, I should be playing the devil's advocate. And this statement is quite a mouthful. It reads, you can join the conversation any moment from now when our number is displayed on your set. And the statement is, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And I say kudos to all patriotic Ghanaians who are well-intentioned in their anti-corruption campaign, especially those who put themselves in harm's way for the sake of Mother Ghana. We pray for guidance and protection for them at all times. Don't blame those who have been captured on tape taking various sums of money and livestock too much. The root causes of corruption in Ghana are poor remuneration and excessive financial pressures coming from family and friends. A third remote cause could be greed. Naming and shaming people will not end corruption. It only dehumanizes them and chips away at their dignity in the eye of the public. It may deter for a while, but those who are hell-bent on taking bribes would not stop, but rather devise ways of evading being captured on tape. Who amongst us has never taken money for no work done? Who amongst us has never gotten boozed, gambled, or slept with someone other than your wife? Such deeds are inevitable and reflect human vulnerabilities none of us can claim sacrosanct morality over. Stripping people of their dignity and making them unwilling characters in Hollywood-like blockbuster premieres cannot end corruption. It only increases hate and vengeance for the architects who may be well-intentioned. There needs to be a change in strategy. The fight against corruption can only be won by speaking to the conscience of the nation. There should be a comprehensive national policy to psych Ghanaians at all levels of the negative, and the negative impact of corruption should be a major course taught at all educational levels and a subject of constant mention at all assemblies, in all assemblies, and also in places of worship. Change doesn't happen instantly. It takes time. It took Jesus Christ 3 years and Prophet Muhammad 23. May the blessings and peace of God be upon them both. Instead of being judgmental and shaming referees, has anybody bothered to know how ill remunerated they are and what their pay policy or structure looks like? And who do we blame when people in Ghana only glorify consumerism and materialism? People are respected based upon how big their mansions are, how many cars they have, and what latest costumes they wear. Such artificial pressures from society could make just anyone, including you and me, a victim of what we saw on tape earlier today. Being poor in Ghana has become a crime. Instead of casting people in hell, pray that you are not forced by desperation to be caught up doing what you are accusing them of doing today. I declare that I am a sinner, and the earnest lies upon me to keep working all year round to be a righteous and upright person. And I would always want to take out the log in my eye before I take out the speck in someone else's eye. Let's remove the logs in our eyes before we attempt to remove the specks in other people's eyes. End of statement. So this is my opinion, but of course, as I said, opinions are like noses. Everybody has one. So you are free to join the conversation now. You may call the phone line that is that will be displayed shortly on your screens, and we'll shortly speak to Executive Director of Ghana Integrity Initiative, Madam Linda Ofori Kwafo, to talk about the anti-corruption campaign and how it looks in the Republic of Ghana. Hello, madam. Okay. So you may join the conversation. How do we tackle corruption in Ghana? You can call onto the show now. Is it best when we name, shame, and jail people, or there are better ways of coming up with a strategy that is comprehensive, that doesn't dehumanize, and it dignifies, but still be able to achieve the objective of ridding not only the Ghana Football Association of corruption, the whole of the Republic of Ghana. So many people, you know, expressed their views, and the premiering is going to be done multiple times. It was shown from 3 to 5 p.m. There was another batch of people that were going in to watch from 5 to 7, and maybe there will be a third before the close of today. So how can the Republic of Ghana tackle corruption? The outfit, the investigative body, Tiger Eye, has over the past decade or so and done a couple of, investigative pieces. And there was one on the judges. There's a caller. Hello? Okay, we have on the phone Linda Ofori-Kwafo, Executive Director of Ghana Integrity Initiative and the local chapter of Transparency International. Madam, thank you for making time. Good evening. Good evening, madam. Thanks a zillion for making time.
You're welcome.
Madam, there is so much furore and euphoria in the Ghanaian capital now. You are not in the country currently. People have thronged, the Accra International Conference Center to watch what has been termed the naming and shaming and eventual jailing or incarceration of people accused of taking various forms of bribes. First of all, talk us through the ethics of such investigative pieces that are meant to fight against corruption.
I mean, quickly, you can repeat. I should take you through the process.
What the ethics are. Invasion of people's privacy, enticement or entrapment has have been bandied around by people who are speaking against the methodology that has been adopted over the years.
I'm not getting it because the line is not very clear for me.
Okay.
If you can please object, if you can come back with your question, the question just like this.
Okay, really sorry. Let me give it another shot. Is it ethical for you to entice people with money and then tip them and use that as evidence in the court of public opinion against them?
I am not sure anybody has used any information as evidence. I don't know whether you are making reference to another expose.
Yes.
And I'm sure you know this matters or these kind of investigations we've done as they have ever been used as evidence in any law court.
So is it ethical to make such overtures to unsuspecting people accused of having the tradition of taking bribes?
I think your question can be answered differently by any person. Everybody's entitled to his own opinion as far as this matter is concerned.
Where do you stand?
I currently do not have a response for this question.
GII doesn't have a position on the methodology?
We don't have one solution for fighting corruption. There are various approaches. You should actually bear in mind that anybody that plays a role in this effort is contributing to the fight against corruption, and not necessarily saying that the approach I am adopting is the best. Everybody contributes. The media contributes. Individuals contribute. So if you decide to get information this way, share to the public, for public institutions to make meaning or do further investigations into the matter, that is the approach the individual has adopted, and we cannot call it a national approach or state approach to fighting corruption.
Okay, so Tiger Eye is operating within this space as an independent investigative outfit.
Yes.
But can it be held to the same standards that GII and Transparency International consider sacrosanct internationally?
We don't pass judgment on such matters, and I think that is what they're asking me to do. it's very difficult for me to do. We have various approaches in fighting corruption. Before announced the judicial corruption allegations and all that, we had in 2007, used the normal survey approach to deal with these matters. So we actually conducted a study that looked at corruption within the judiciary using the survey approach, which is different from the approach ANAS used. So it's not every day, the approaches and methods are not the same. But depending on the institution and what we do, we are not investigating body like ANAS Tiger Eye. So we might not be able to use the approach he uses, but we have been able to use which that we know when it comes to how society organizations operate, and we were able to put forth information that is not so different with what ANAS did some time ago. So we are different, we use different approaches and methods in fighting corruption.
Okay, drifting a little away from the modus operandi, with the body of data available to GII, how much of a serious problem is corruption to the Republic of Ghana?
I'm sure it's a very easy question to answer. We all know how serious the problem is. From the last survey that we conducted, that we launched in the beginning of the last, I think beginning of the year, when we talked about corruption perception index for the year 2017, we still actually emphasize the point that corruption is still a serious problem in Ghana's public sector, Ghana's private sector, and there is a lot that we have to do if we have to be able to deal with the canker.
How has the trajectory been in the past decade? Do we get worse with the passing years, or we seem to be getting better, or it fluctuates between every 2 or 3 years?
We are not able to determine that. I say so because we have now gotten to an era that we easily speak about the subject corruption. In the past, we didn't have that opportunity for individuals to be engaging in the process, the discussions and all that. Now people are enlightened about the subject matter through public education awareness creation. So people easily talk about the subject of corruption. With this, so many matters also come to the fore. They understand, they are able to identify, they are able to talk about the issues. We also now have institutions and legislation that deals with the subject. So every now and then, anytime corruption happens, whether within the public or private sector, it comes to the fore. Some of us, people actually talk a lot about corruption, even where there is no corruption. But we always say that there is not much difference between the perceived level of corruption in the country and the actual level of corruption in the country. And I say so because if you into the methods, the questions asked in the you understand that very basic questions are asked to people who come to the questions of the CPI, and the matters that they discuss are very, very fundamental. We all know about them. They talk about how often are public officials punished for engaging in acts of corruption. Does the country have an RTI legislation and all those things? And we actually get the response out from the CPI are always yes, yes, yes on behalf of Ghana. And that actually accounts for the fact that the perceived corruption are not so different from the actual corruption that happens in the country.
So the international community's view of the astronomical levels of corruption in Ghana is only perceptive, since there is no smoking gun evidence. Would I be right to say so?
I didn't get the question well.
The perception, the idea that Ghana is becoming ever more corrupt with every passing year is only perceptive, since there is no smoking gun evidence pointing to the fact that there are such levels of corruption in Ghana.
I think this statement was made by you and not as the astronomical, whatever word you use, levels of corruption. I don't know where you are getting that impression from. We are saying that corruption, Ghana is not immune to corruption, and corruption has not actually been resolved or dealt with in our country. The laws notwithstanding, we are unable to enforce effectively legislation. Look at public procurement law, look at the financial administration law and all those things. We have not been able to implement them effectively, and that might have account to our inability to deal effectively with the cancer.
GII is quite reputable, and in fact, you are only some 2 kilometers away from this TV station at Abilimpe, a quite reputable outfit. What do you do when you collate your data and do surveys? Do you only diagnose the problems of corruption, or you prefer possible solutions?
No institution that calls itself a research organization only puts out the findings of the survey. Every survey will always have recommendations on what should be done. So we always have recommendations as far as our surveys are concerned.
How much of a problem is consumerism, and do you think it is a strong contributing factor to the levels of corruption in Ghana?
I didn't hear your question.
Consumerism, the way we glorify consumerism. We have latest everything, latest phones, latest mansions, latest costumes. How much of a problem is consumerism to our fight against corruption in Ghana?
I've not done anything that measures that. I speak on authority and I speak on the findings of data, research and all these things. I have not been able to conduct any study in relation to that matter.
Okay, I know, madam, you don't want to get out of your comfort zone. Quantify for us what we are up against as a country. How much?
The statement you just made. I'm telling you that as an organization that bases our advocacy on findings of researches that we have conducted, I am not somebody, or I'm not a social commentator. So if I've not been able to gather evidence to be able to deal with such matters, I don't speak authoritatively on that.
Okay, that's quite a very good point. I would want to ask this question. Understanding the magnitude of our problem in terms of corruption will inform how seriously and urgently we will carve out anti-corruption campaigns in the country. What are we up against? How much does the country lose to perceived or real corruption annually?
There are various studies that are trying to put together the figures or the cost of corruption to the nation. Currently, as of this year, I'm not able to give you the figures because I'm actually driving and canceling this certificate to know that I'm doing it on speaker, so I'm not actually breaking any law. I'm using Bluetooth.
Yeah, we know you're a law-abiding citizen. We know you are covered. You're a law-abiding citizen, madam.
No, the point is I'm not able to give you the figures, but the cost of corruption have been calculated severally. I'm sure it is not so accurate because it's very difficult to calculate the actual cost of corruption. But the people have used several methods. We have done one in what we call cost of corruption. We are about to launch the report. And we look at it from the point of view of education and health. What is the opportunity cost that we currently what is corruption costing us in terms of education and health? And I'm not able to actually put out the figures because I don't have it before me.
You are a mother, and we go to maternity wards and we see the sheer preponderance of suffering of women while they are in labor because somebody has fleeced the state. And this may come as news to you. His Excellency the President showed the exit to the CEO of Korle-Bu today. I don't know, how does the news come to you? Heads of parastatal institutions or state institutions that have been shown the exit by His Excellency, to a large extent based upon an accumulated accusation of corruption.
I think that is an act that needs commendation, and I say so because I have always advocated for leadership when it comes to fighting corruption, and I actually want to talk about leadership. Many people want to focus their attention on political leadership. I am very much interested in institutional leaders that have a responsibility to ensure that corruption is also reduced in the sectors to which they find themselves. We know the problems in Korle Bu, and we know how we have, over the years, not been able to address the matter of corruption within the institution and many other health facilities. And when it comes to corruption, Ghana Integrity Initiative and the Transparency International are very much particular or concerned about how it affects poor. And the poor people are mostly those that seek help from government or state institutions. Other rich people can actually go to the private institutions to pay higher bills and get what they want. So if the poor have to resort to the state-owned institutions for their medical care, and they have to go through the agony of paying double and more, and paying before their bills are brought up, and paying so many unapproved rates, then I think the leadership will have to be punished for that. And if the reasons assigned, I am yet to hear, if the reasons assigned for the person, the CEO staff, or the person does not have any obligations to actually take the reasons, and I'm sure something might have accounted for that. And if one of them is corruption, then we are all for that.
And Linda, it would have been understandable if we only discussed BOST because of the damning reports we've read in the press over the past few months. But Dr. Anya, the outgoing CEO of Korle Bu, seems to be quite reputable. Does that one in particular not come to you as a surprise?
Okay, so then let me tell you something. Dr. Anya, we all know the work he's done and how successful he's been in that particular area of operation, that being a medical doctor, running so many facilities and doing all that he does. But I must say that Korle Bu is big, and so many things happen in Korle Bu. I'm telling you, the issues in Korle Bu are not new to us. It's not only in Korle Bu, it's in all the big hospitals that we currently have in the country. So if Dr. Anya himself is very, I don't know which word to use for him, but then the organization is managing has able to live up to expectations, and in many jurisdictions, in such instances, the head that's perfect. And so, that's what I don't know the reason. I am actually out of town, and so if corruption or allegations of corruption is one of the reasons that Ghana Integrity Initiative supports.
Finally, Linda, we commend you greatly. You are a very strong woman. Anti-corruption campaigns around the world are filled with so much testosterone. But in your closing remarks, a former president said corruption started from Adam. Do you think what GII is doing, what those of us in the press are doing in the fight against corruption, what investigative bodies like Tiger Eye are doing, are we all fighting a losing battle?
We are not. We are not. I think at some point in the discussion I mentioned to you how far we have come. The sense of which now it was made, and now everybody freely talks about it. Now that we have an action plan called the National Anti-Corruption Action Plan, that's supposed to help us deal with the country for the next 10 years. We have institutions of state, and we are very happy to also have the Office of Special Prosecutor. So many things are happening, and I'm sure with much more effort, citizens contributing, especially to reporting corruption through hotlines like the GRI hotline, the Advocacy Legal Advice Center, going to the SHRAD, going to the police, and citizens contributing when they become victims or witnesses of corruption, headway in some few years to come.
Okay, thank you so much. We've been speaking to Linda Oforie-Korfo. Okay, you're most welcome, Madam. Executive Director of Ghana Integrity Initiative, the local chapter of Transparency International. We go on with the discussion. Our viewers can now join us. You may call onto the show and share your views. But we will leave you with excerpts of an investigative piece that was done by Tiger Eye on perceived corruption within Ghana's judiciary. So enjoy that, and then we'll come back shortly.
can deny. And when he says it, I'm out.
After negotiation, 13,000 was agreed on to be paid to Justice Ajetunasam. It was a tricky situation before meeting the judge.
Human rights issues, the way our officers are the name is
Justice Ajetunasam, on accepting the money, told Tiger to bring the rest of the 2,000 Ghana cedis balance and to also come with Bernard Salah, who was at large, so that they would know what to do in order to first of all reverse the warrant on his head and to finally pass a judgment in his favor.
I even told him that he has to bring Bernard Salah.
Because his physics is
a lot of problems. So you have to get Bernard Salah.
Okay. Okay,
my
lord.
What we can do is that on the 7th of October, we bring him here. Then I'll make the entrance. Before the real date? Yeah.
Okay, my lord.
So maybe by 10 o'clock, you bring him here.
Okay, my lord.
So you pass by my place, I'll bring the record book. The same record book.
No, we can even use this one.
Okay,
my lord. Okay.
But since you said 10, it should be
10. 10, yes, my lord. We will really do that. Okay. Thank you very much, my lord, for it.
Poised to collect the rest of his money, Justice Ajetunasam called us for a meeting to give him his balance. We deliberately gave him 1,000 cedis to prolong our encounter with him. He met us at Zongo Junction in Accra to collect it.
You, my lord.
What? You make it suffice.
From the letter, you know this issue. Sure, he will be coming next week.
Next week, okay. Well, I believe that there will not be any this big bag you are carrying.
Because I just have to.
Robin G. Why not?
For the remaining 1,000 Ghana cedis, we had to go to his house and pay, this time with a male goat. Weeks later, we got information that Justice Ajetunasam had been assigned by the Chief Justice to the Cocoa Affairs Court building. His clerk took his share, and there was Justice Ajetunasam taking his share and putting it under his table. He threw out the contempt case. After some months, we identified a rape case considered as one of the criminal and punishable offences under Ghana's criminal code. We then identified Charles, a driver to the judge, also known as a middleman in the sale of justice. A few days later, he called to say the judge was willing to see us on only one non-negotiable condition: a payment of 2,000 Ghana cedis. The driver led us to the judge, who took the 2,000 Ghana cedis from us, being representatives of the criminal suspect.
Well, you are welcome. Thank you, sir. Why have you come?
They came back to give that to you.
Okay.
Yes, 10 months.
That's all what I was asking.
Okay, my lord.
They just come to give that for you for our opposition.
Oh,
my lord.
Don't worry, my lord. But I beg you, sit down. Sit down. What's your name?
I'm Idris Ishmael.
Please. You know our work, these things are very dangerous.
Yes, sir.
So you are 2, and I'm
3.
Yeah, 3. Please let this thing remain in this school.
Okay, my lord.
the suspect was acquitted and discharged.
My lord, thank you very much.
Mami Sewa. Then you can.
Okay. So thank you, my lord.
We decided to follow a case which involved one man suing another for fraud. To get to the judge, we needed to pass through Mr. Chwe. On the day he proposed for seeing the judge, we prepared the amount of 2,000 Ghana cedis that he demanded. He then took us to the judge.
What is the defendant?
Asian Town.
What's the name of the boy?
The what?
The defendant. Abu Alat and Elias DJ.
The judge wanted us out before accepting the bribe money.
I want to look at you, right? Same people, you know. When it comes to another talk, you will tell me. You with us, that's why he's saying.
What is your problem?
No, I'm not saying. He's saying that you go out, you know what to tell me. Then when you finish, you come in. It's not in the case I just started. Consent to come, if you know him, you can even come here without me. So, this is what he likes. So if you don't understand, then we go. We are waiting and he wants to sleep.
When we didn't, he walked out.
My lord! You already? Oh, yeah. I don't know whether somebody is having a picture of us.
Oh, impossible.
Put it here. Don't put it down here.
Put it down.
We were adamant, left the money on the judge's table and exited. With Chwe, it was such an eventful process. It was the Republic versus Kwame Jato, a suspect in a narcotics case. We told Mayor we were intervening on behalf of the accused who was about to be sentenced. Mayor agreed to help. In the judge's house, things happened swiftly. Mayor introduced us, handed over the money to the judge in a brown envelope, and the judge gave us assurance that he will act on our request. It was clear that Mayor did not want us to talk about money with the judge. This could be because he wanted us to avoid any mention of the faceless state attorney that he was supposedly giving the other 5,000 cedis to.
Would that be the judge? I've never seen him before.
To find out the truth, we decided to go back to the judge. This time, without Mayor. We took along a ram, a symbolic gesture of appreciation for his promises and assurance. To our mild disappointment, the judge said he preferred a goat to a ram.
If it's this morning, I asked my wife to look for somebody to send to Tulako to buy me a goat.
But my lord, if you want, I'll bring a goat too.
But he gave you some money.
He took 6,000.
The judge was shocked at Mayor's behavior.
And later on, he came and told me that
he talked that you say you don't have money, so what you could get was 5,000. What have you done that
you collect those money? Okay, thank you.
So what about that?
So
will you come in the morning or evening time?
I'll come in the evening.
Okay.
Days later, we took the goat, Justice Peter Derry's preferred gift, along with the remaining balance.
Balance like 1,000. This is the balance. But is he going to set free?
Yeah, no, that is.
It all worked in favor of Kwame Jato, the man standing trial for narcotics. Our checks with the Attorney General's Department shows that the man was freed. You bet the true price of justice in these parts. We contacted Madam Peace, who we found to be a strongest link for reaching the judge.
Elderly people say
you can't go empty-handed.
So now the ball is in your court.
When we asked how much the judge would need to carry out injustice in favor of the murderer, she said,
It's you who need help. So it is you who come out and maybe you pay this.
What about 2,500? Yours is not enough. Yours here will treat you special after the help is done.
I will inform him.
Okay.
You don't remove anything here. Can I get the rubber? Okay, you give it to me.
we decided to make part payments to her in order to sustain her interest.
When would I meet you again?
I will be going to see him.
Okay.
And then tell him your assurance, and then I'll call you and then bring you the money.
Okay.
By our next meeting, we had organized the money, and after court proceedings one day, we handed it to the judge in his chambers by placing it on his table. He grabbed it swiftly and threw it into his desk drawer.
So he will be free, my love.
Well, for now, yeah. Okay, so that is the
Peace also got her balance. About a month later, John Bobi was freed. We then set a date to meet the judge. Our rendezvous point was the Accra Mall. The judge showed up with his bodyguard to pick his part of the booty, but asked the bodyguard to excuse him before taking the bribe money from us. He then appeared offended that the money wasn't in an envelope.
Sorry.
No, my friend.
I was
How can you? The man is not.
Oh, sorry. It's okay.
Next time you package it well.
No.
Next time
you
I won't not allow you this.
It's
not the best. Next time. If I had seen you earlier on. The phone is yours.
To appease him, Gabriel suggested we top it up with a gift of a male goat. We delivered that, but he was not at home.
So your auntie give you something for small fuel?
Yes. For you there. He says Thursday.
Gabriel called him on phone to tell him what we brought.
You know that you got. All right. Bye.
Now that we knew his house, we could go back to meet with him. So we did just that, with another goat bought from Burkina Faso.
Look at
lot of these things that are said and then I can leave to put.
You're welcome back. You are still tuned into Time with Irbad Ibrahim, and today we are discussing the fight against corruption in the Republic of Ghana. You may join the conversation by calling the phone line that is displayed on your set. And then just went by was the expose, a two-pronged expose, one on the judiciary and Ghana's justice system. And there's a caller. Hello, good evening, and thank you for making time.
Hello, evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Yazid. I'm calling from Boku.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
And lower the volume on your set.
My name is Yazid. I'm calling from Boku.
And lower the volume on your set. We're getting feedback.
Hello.
Let me go for a quick commercial break, if you don't mind. A quick commercial break. I'll be back shortly. Sorry, we lost the caller. You may call the phone lines that are displayed boldly on your screens. Hello, good evening. Thanks for making time.
Hello, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Tamale. I'm Jonathan.
Joe, welcome to the show, Joe.
Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, well, I can hear you loud and clear, Joe.
All right. I think I've been observing proceedings.
Okay.
I think I've been observing proceedings.
Okay.
But if we want to complain about the modalities and not use it for investigations, it is very, very right. There's something I want to clear. It is the attitude of the people involved. That is what is exposing now. Because, Ivan, if you are not used to a particular style of doing things, you will not fall a victim to an expose. You should fall. If you fall a victim, that means you have been practicing it for some time.
Can I
that people, it is something they have been doing. It's a no.
Jonathan, can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can go ahead.
And Jonathan, maybe you are not a church leader, but it's rained in Accra today, and the weather is quite cool. If we were to throw before you a gorgeous and voluptuous model you can't resist, and God forbids you end up doing the wrong things with her, that might have been your first time. Would you have been a serial womanizer to fall to that temptation?
How? Ivan.
Yes, I can hear you.
You see, I am not getting your question that clear, but if
Okay, thank you so much. We really appreciate your opinion on this subject. Thank you so much. Others may also call on to the show, and the numbers to call are boldly displayed on your set. Opinions, they say, are like noses. Hello, good evening. Thanks for making time. Good evening.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name and where you're calling from, and lower the volume on your set if you don't mind. Yeah, hello. Viewers, please lower the volume on your sets when you call.
I'm finding this.
Sorry, I may have to go for another short commercial break. The lines have not been helpful. I'll be back shortly. Stick and stay with us. I'll be back in a sec. We're still discussing the best way to tackle corruption in the Republic of Ghana, and your views are most welcomed. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Nasruddin calling for Ahoetua.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I said this is Nasruddin calling for Ahoetua.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. I think before we can fight for bribery and corruption, we have to look on the critical issue of our leaders. Because nowadays, there is nothing that you will do genuinely through the leaders until you bribe or you do something to back your case or whatever it is. So even, and then we have to start it from our house. From the parents to to our leaders, our ministers, our MPs and so on.
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate your call. Yeah, so how does the Republic of Ghana tackle corruption? And your views are welcomed. Today has been quite eventful. People, as we speak, maybe are still watching this premiering of the... Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Your name and where you calling from, and speak up a bit, bro.
Yeah, I'm speaking from Kumasi. I'm called Dominic.
Hey, Kumasiano and Pompisi.
Yeah, calling from Zongo Police Station.
Okay, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. For the whole situation, Ghana has a problem, and I believe this most powerful religion that we have been backing on is our problem. The religion is the problem, because if you consider the top hierarchies, either he's a Muslim or a Christian, and so do you need somebody to tackle us or watch us before you do the right thing? I'm fully behind an ass, and for this matter, each and every one must be I don't know how to even describe it. Be an eye on each other to watch what your fellow is doing. I don't know what is happening. Religion is killing us. These two religions are killing us. Either a person is a Muslim or a Christian.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it the misapplication of these two religions or the religions themselves?
Yes. The religion is killing us because we have it in mind that God will give, you see, Jesus will forgive us. Even it's like when they were going for the tournament and you are giving a shrine. So we move.
Okay. Thank you so much.
What about the other side? That one too.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think your point is well made. We appreciate the divergent views that are shared. Misapplication of these two religions. Hello, good evening. Thanks for making time.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Brian.
Yeah, your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm Clement. I'm calling from Kappa.
Okay, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. This is the first time I'm coming to this show, and I'm really excited.
Okay, you're welcome, bro.
Thanks. Don't. Why? And then I don't understand. I'm really sad today. I'm raised bald today. When will Ghana stop doing this? When? Corrupt? You wouldn't understand. And then someone will sit there and then talk, as if what they are doing is good. Why? If Ghana, if we don't stop this corruption, Mr. Blame, I don't think we will reach our goal. Seriously.
Okay. Thank you so much.
It's really hard.
Okay. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, brother. Thank you. So the phone lines are active. You may call and share your opinion. Hello, good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Your name and where you calling us from? Your line is bad. Kindly try again. Yeah, try again. And the line was terrible. Try calling us again so that we listen to your opinion on how Ghana, the Republic of Ghana, can tackle corruption. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Welcome. Your name and where you calling us from?
Yeah, George speaking. I'm calling from Accra International Conference Center.
Okay, George.
Yes. So far, we are witnessing the third viewing of the Hamas Expose 12 episodes. So far, people are in the viewing. We are also waiting for them to come out. People were here since the afternoon, 3 o'clock. They have, which is 10 o'clock. They have now gotten chance to enter into the auditorium for them to also have access to watch the last part of the event. Okay. So far, this is what is happening here. Because we have a lot of security officers gathering here. They are working, making sure that discipline is ongoing and everything is intact here. So nobody is, we judge that only one person, which is collapsed. The ambulance here, they are treating the person. We don't know what happened before the person collapsed.
Okay.
So that is what is happening.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You may also call on to the show and you share your opinions on how the Republic of Ghana can tackle the issue of corruption and what strategy we should adopt in tackling corruption. Yes. I think we'll draw the curtains. We'll draw the curtain on today's edition. This program was ably put together by a duo of producers, Mr. Everlasting Johnson and Mr. Peter Joy Lalambon, and then the executive producer has been Mr. George Nugent, and technical production team has had Eric Beidu, Godfred Aite, Bennett, Philip Anhuofe, and a host of others. So we come your way tomorrow with another edition of Time with Irbad Ibrahim. Stay blessed and keep praying for Mother Ghana. Good night.